Hi, so I was going to do a video on education today on the class that Jessa and I are going to be hosting this summer, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. But before I did that, I actually wanted to talk about an idea on schooling and education and cell phone repair school in general, and this comes from some comments I had on my iCracked video that I did. So somebody was telling me, I think $2,000 is perfectly reasonable for somebody to show you how to do this. Like, what's the alternative? Like the white trash approach of, just taking people's phones, claiming you're an expert when that's the first time you've ever opened an iPhone, and destroying it and taking no accountability. I disagreed with the bulk of his post, but with this particular point, we're in complete agreement. I don't like when people don't take any accountability for the destruction and the havoc that they cause as a result of their own ignorance. That's something that I really don't like and I'm not a fan of. And I agree with him there completely. But where I don't agree is this whole idea that it's a wise investment to go to a lot of the cell phone repair schools that are literally like what they do is they teach you, here's how you replace the LCD assembly in an S3. Here's how you replace the screen on an iPhone 5. Here's how you replace the battery in an iPhone 5. Like, can you destroy the phone doing these things? Yes. Is it completely reasonable for me to expect that within an hour that my 66-year-old dad can do this? Yes. And, that's the thing. I understand if you want to go to school to learn glass-only repairs. I understand if you want to go to school to learn LCD refurbishing. I understand if you want to go to school to learn component-level motherboard repair. But let's be honest with ourselves here. Let's be completely 100% honest. Replacing the LCD assembly, full assembly on an S3, replacing the screen on an iPhone 5, this is arts and crafts. This is Legos. This is Connects. Like, some are harder than others. Some are easy and some are hard. Building that carousel with the solar-powered yellow briefcase Connect station is harder than building the Christmas tree out of that same manual. But still, it can be accomplished by a 7-year-old. I know, I did it. And that's the thing with this type of cell phone repair. I think that we get it into our heads that we are technicians when very oftentimes we are simply arts and crafts people that are literally, we're just taking Connect stuff and, putting it together based on what the manual says and then taking it apart. This is not something that requires higher education. This is not something that requires a lot of brain power. This is not something that really, I believe, requires a $2,000 education, especially when the $2,000 education is offering you this much, if anything, over what you can get off of YouTube for free. Again, there's a lot of bad stuff on YouTube, don't get me wrong, but there's also a lot of good stuff on YouTube. And there's also this. You can't learn from a school how to fix everything there is, nor can you figure out from a school how to fix all the future devices that are going to come out after you graduate from that school. What you need to be successful in the cell phone repair business in general, what you need to be successful in this type of, break fix crap in general, is the ability to learn without sodomizing how to take something apart and how to put it back together. It's the ability to learn as you go that's going to make you valuable. The reason that my lead technician gets damn near $30 an hour is because I can give anything to him, and if he has never, ever, ever opened this, he will figure out how to open it and do his job without fucking it up. Like, that is a talent. I can give that to somebody else, and they'll learn how to do it crappily after the 4th time, a little better after the 10th time, and acceptable by the 15th time. With him, he could have never opened it. He opens it, he doesn't fuck it up, and he does the job. Like, that is what is going to be valuable to an employer. That's what's going to be valuable to you as your, career moves on. And I put career in quotes because, let's face it, there is not a big career path for, replacing screens on cell phones. I have said many times, I think this is going to go the way of the dodo. I'm pretty damn sure of it. And as devices get cheaper and as they get more difficult to fix, you will have to learn how to transition your repair business into something else of higher value. But really, this is arts and crafts. You don't need this crazy high education for it. You don't need this great technical education in order to take apart an iPhone 5, in order to replace a power button on a 4S. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. This does not require genius. And I don't want to be insulting to the people I have working here, because I don't want this to come off that way, because sometimes I'm not good at phrasing things. But one of the things I want to talk about right now is my receptionist. So I always call her the receptionist, and we have a running joke here where it's, I'm not a receptionist, I'm a tech. And the reason I keep calling her the receptionist is because I never actually trained her to be a technician. She was just supposed to be the receptionist and the person who unboxes, returns when I had sold LCD screens and things like that. That was her job. And one day when the lead technician was on vacation for a month, I was so sick and fucking tired of manual labor and just mindless, mind-numbing nonsense that I just put a computer on her desk and I said, replace the keyboard. I think it was an A1278 laptop, and this is not a PC. You know that if you saw my keyboard video, you know replacing the keyboard on this is a real pain in the ass. It's doable, but it's a pain in the ass. I was at the point where she goes, I have no idea how to do this. I've never done this before. And I said, if you break it, I'll just buy them a new one. That's where I was. I was so sick and fucking tired of taking keyboards out of A1278s that I didn't even care if she destroyed it. I would go to Apple and buy that customer a $1,000 laptop the next day if she destroyed it, and would have just taken their hard drive and put it in it and just happily said, here, you have a new computer. Enjoy. Just, give me the $175. You have a new computer, enjoy. And that's where I was. I was just so sick and tired of screw 40, screw 80, screw 120, and just the repetitive nonsense that I said I would rather risk you destroying it. She did the job perfectly in an hour and a half. The second time, she did the job perfectly in an hour. The third time, she did the job perfectly inside of 27 minutes, and let me tell you, she is way faster than I am. And eventually, the other guy here did the same thing. Like, he just got sick and tired of doing MacBook Airs over and over again, so he just put one on her desk. And, well, he probably wouldn't have paid for it. I probably would have had to pay for it. But he was just so sick and tired of doing MacBook Air screens, he's like, here, just figure it out. And about 1.5, 2 weeks ago, I did the exact same thing with Retina, since he's having knee surgery, so I have to do all the board repairs, all the regular repairs. I'm taking a course on the weekends for something that I'd like to start getting into doing, and I'm also managing my business. I don't want to fix Retina screens, so I'm like, here, fix it. Just figure this shit out. If it doesn't work, I don't care. I'll buy them a new Retina. And she did it, and this Retina came out perfect, immaculate, looked beautiful, not a single fucking scratch. She is not. She doesn't have IT experience. She did not graduate with a degree in electronics engineering, nor did I even show her how to replace the screen on a Retina. You need to understand that the whole taking apart and putting stuff back together, that it's standard fucking common sense. You want to get into motherboard repair? That's hard. You're going to need some brain training. You want to get into glass only? That's still mechanical. That's still regular labor on an assembly line, but at the very least, it does require some type of specialized skill set. But this crap where you are remove screws, take stuff out, put stuff back on, put screws back on. You don't need a school for that. You don't need a school for that. And again, if you think you need a school for that, if you think you need a school to tell you how to put the power button on an iPhone 4S, this is not the right industry for you. It's not. It never will be. And I'm not saying that to be mean. A lot of people misinterpret the things I say as me purposely trying to be mean, and that's not it. It's that, all these people get this idea, Mouse, you better get off the stop recording button because I know that's going to end poorly for me. They get this idea that there's so much money in a specific niche. There's so much money in a specific business that I got to get into that business. I got to get into doing that. I need to start doing this because this is where the money is. And this is one of the biggest misconceptions in the American job market, is that when there's a specific niche and people think all the money is in that niche, that you got to get into that to make money. That's not how you make money. You make money by being good at what you do. You make money being good at whatever product it is you sell or whatever service it is that you offer. That's how you make money. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters that you are good at it. If you are good at what you do, you will always find a way to make money at it. That is it. You will hear so many people say there's just no money left in this business, while simultaneously seeing people that are net profiting hundreds of thousands of dollars off of that very same business. How do you think this is? It's because somebody clearly wasn't that good at that business. Obviously, there are businesses where there are less money versus businesses where there are more money, but if you are good at what you do and there is some remote demand for what you do, there will always be a way to make money at it. It doesn't matter how much money you think there is in cell phone repair. If you suck at it, you are not going to make money at it. It doesn't matter how much money you think there is in this, you may be better off as a landscaper. There are landscapers that make almost $500,000 a year because they're really good at it. And I told a story of that in a really boring 3-year-old video when I was far more camera shy. Where this person, he has a home that's damn near $750,000, and he got that off of a landscaping business that he started from nothing after, mowing lawns for somebody else. And the thing to think about here is, if you're good at what you do, do, it doesn't matter what you do. If you suck at cell phone repair, if you suck at laptop repair, for the love of God, stop doing it and do what it is you're good at, and stop focusing on the field. Stop focusing on, I'm going to drop $2,000, $10,000, $20,000 to learn how to be good at something that I suck at, and instead spend $0 to do something that you're good at that may not be such a hot profession, but that will actually make you money. That's what you should be doing. Focus on what you're good at. Don't focus on what you suck at. I still think back to when I was 13 years old and I got this keyboard for Christmas. I wanted to learn how to play the piano. I wasn't insulted by after being told, numerous times that I suck. I mean, what if nobody told me that I sucked? What if I was one of those people that's like 50 or 60 years old and living in their mother's basement because they never ever made any money throughout their entire life as a musician because they just kept putting effort and time into something that they were god awful at, and the world hated their music and hated what they were contributing to it. But nobody ever told them. Like, everybody here who's worked at a recording studio, and I mean everybody, knows somebody who really, really, really shouldn't be producing music, where it's not even like an opinion, it's just a fundamental fact. They have no sense of timing, no sense of pitch, no sense of anything, and they are making music, and nobody tells them that they suck. And you have to think about that. If you're not good at something, you probably should focus on where you are good. Maybe have it as a hobby, but don't bang your head against the wall to turn it into a living. And what I'm saying here is that if you cannot learn how to replace the power flex on an iPhone 4S without a $2,000 course, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And again, I understand if you need to go to a course to learn motherboard repair. I understand if you want to go to a course to learn glass-only repair because that's considered advanced. But if you need to go to a school to learn the absolute fundamental basics of this, then you don't have that self-starter mentality that you need to consistently keep up and consistently learn new devices to run your own business and to deal with all this shit. You probably don't. And again, this is one of the things I want you to think about when it comes to a school of any type to do this. If you need a school to show you how to replace a home button on an iPhone 5, that's a problem. That is a fundamental problem. The lack of schooling is not the problem. The need for the schooling in and of itself and the lack of motivation to figure that out on your own is truly the problem. How are you going to get business? How are you going to come up with a marketing plan? How are you going to promote yourself to a potential employer to get a job if you don't have the motivation to take two fucking screws out, pry it out, and then go doink, doink, rip off home flex, doink, doink, and put new home flex in. Really, if you don't have the go-getterness, if you don't have the motivation to just Google a video on how to do that and watch it and just get an idea of what to do within 20 or 30 minutes of time, this is going to be a miserable industry for you. You're going to hate it. You're not going to do well in it. You're going to fail, and I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to see you fail at something you suck at. I want to see you succeed at something you're good at. So stop beating your head against the wall, telling yourself, I want to do this. I need to do this. I have to do this. Everybody says this is a great industry. I have to do this. And start focusing on what you want to do. Start focusing on what you're good at. Start focusing on what you think you can offer the world instead of what other people are suggesting you offer the world. If you do that, I assure you, you're going to be much better at what you do, much happier in life, and you're going to make a lot more money. And you're going to make a lot more people happy than you would if you destroy their phones even after you took one of these courses.